Hello, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Come Up Things, where things that you don't usually know about are revealed and things that need to be discussed and resolved are brought to the fore and ideas are given. All right? It's all a matter of education. Anyway, I don't know if many of you noticed or had problems with flow, but yesterday there was, constant interrupted service with flow as far as the internet were concerned, etc. And I know that in this country, right, if we, the public, or the customers of certain entities were to stand together, we would be able to resolve quite a few issues. Now, when you have an interrupted service, you should not still have to pay the usual fee that you're accustomed to paying. Not only that, but what Flow seems to have done is they send out quite a few bills that had, some really exorbitant rates on them. I know that these were mistakes, but when you get mistakes in the summer, $60 and $100 and $1,000, something is wrong. I want you all to notice something though. The mistakes were in favor of Flow. None of the mistakes were in favor of the customer. So if you were accustomed paying $300, you didn't see your bill coming for $150. If you were accustomed paying $300, your bill came in for $450. Note that the mistakes were in the favor of the subscriber. Anyway, Flow needs to be dealt with seriously. People need to address it. Flow has a monopoly on Barbadians who subscribe to their service, and we need to take that back into our hands because it's our money who builds them. We have to do something about it. It's the same with Barbados Telecom Power. It's the same with certain entities all around Barbados where people have a monopoly, and this is not fair trading. The Fair Trading Commission is supposed to look into things like this. My next topic, however, is the inquiry that was promised by Wilfred Abrams. Now, Wilfred Abrams promised an inquiry into the escape that occurred at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by the inmate. I think what is needed though is an inquiry into the plethora of escapes that occurred not only at the hospital, but attempted escapes at the prison too, because something is wrong. And whenever you have disgruntledness within an institution, things will go wrong. Okay? But this promise, I'm waiting to see it bear fruition. This promise by Mr. Abrams. Because I'm hearing now that certain people can go up to the prison and get free pork, free chicken, free lamb, free sweetbreads, free pastries, or get the vehicles fixed free of cost. So I don't know how soon this inquiry will come about, because I'm understanding the head up there is politically affiliated with somebody. I'm not calling the name, but you understand they've aligned themselves with some political person, and they make sure that they grease the person's palms, so it looks as if we the public who are seeking to hear what is happening as far as these escapes are concerned. We'll be hearing about it soon. But if you all cry out and ask for it, you will get it. I tell you, as long as you demand it according to the radio programs and write letters, it must be given. Because remember, these people work for you. Anyway, it's all about monopolies in Barbados and control. If you notice that, when people have control over you, they can do as you like. That's another thing why they want to make sure they get rid of the cash and be able to have it where your account, they know how much is on your account, and if you say the wrong thing, they can freeze it. They all did in Canada with the truckers. Remember the truckers went on strike, and what they did with them, they seized their accounts, so people were without access to money, etc. But that is what we will put ourselves in if we go cashless. If we go cashless, the normal street vendor, food vendor, and the guys who sell little perfumes and oils on the street will be disadvantaged. I'm telling you, we are seeing quite a few things that are happening in Barbados which are not in the favor of the populace. I want you all to look at something too. I want you to look at the ZR culture. I want you to look and see who owns the majority of the ZR vans right now. Indians own the majority. If they don't own the vans, they own the permits. How have they gotten so many permits? You ever see an Indian went in for a license? Are you seeing it? I want you all to look at this. There, well, one or two, yes, but not the abundance we're seeing on the roads. You understand? How are they getting this? There's a monopoly in certain things. And I would like my black brothers to stick and support one another. Please support one another, because these other people don't really support us, you know. I want you to look and see and tell me if you see some of the Indians going into the black-owned stores, the small stores. See who owns the most of Swan Street. The Syrians, you know, all the Indians. See who owns the stores. Look at this. Why can't we support each other? Anyway, I want to go on to something else too. I want to go on to something with land, because I'm seeing a lot of land issues in Barbados, where people are saying their land was stolen, where people were renting land and the person they were renting from dies, and the family intervenes now and says they're going to start paying them or they're going to leave and that kind of thing. We need to understand our rights. Now when you buy land, you don't actually fully own it, because you still have to pay a land tax. And if you forfeit on your land tax, the government then comes in and seizes your property. They even go into the point where if you don't clean your property, they're looking to come in and seize it. You understand? These are things we need to look at. But however, where you live on a piece of land, and you are, let's say, using somebody else's land to get into your property, and you've been doing this for maybe 20 years, for most of your life. The piece of property might be a muddy track or something, and you say, you know what, to make it easy for me, I put on some Mara to go through. The person sees what you're doing, they haven't said anything, but for some reason that person passes away, and their son or daughter comes in, and they want to put up a fence around that part where you're using. You know that you have more rights than them. You see, where you have an access way and you are using it consistently for more than 20 years, you have something which is called by law a prescriptive right to use it. Not only that, the fact that you have done something with it to ensure that you have proper access gives you more right than the person who actually no comes seeking to claim. You understand? Because the prior owner did nothing about it and allowed you to use it. So a person can't come and usurp that authority given to you. It's called a prescriptive right by law. Good morning, how are you doing? It's called a prescriptive right by law. And it entitles you to use that to get onto your property. A lot of people don't know about that. So when big companies come and they decide that they're going to build and block off your access way, you can take them to court. And if it's a matter of public interest, it's something you bring to the public's attention and get some other people from around the area to get involved, you know, really truly they will have to pay any fees that you incur as a result of fighting for what is rightfully yours. Alright? Because nobody can block your access way. That is the law. As far as land is concerned, and renting like maybe a house spot and stuff like that, after living for a period of years in a tenantry, you have the first right if that land is for sale. And I'll let you know something, right? It is illegal, good morning, for anyone to sell land with somebody living on it. So when people come and tell you, well, listen, the land you're living on has been sold, you have to move. That can't work, because anytime you are on a land, a piece of land, living, the land has an encumbrance. And no property is supposed to be sold with an encumbrance on it. You understand me? So this is something that you people need to understand. Nobody can sell land with you on it. I have a situation, I don't know if you remember the incident where we went in New Orleans, where the purported landlord lady had said that she owned the land and she wanted the guy to move out the house, and she knocked out his windows, etc. Only to find out that the guy had been living on the land longer than she said she had bought it. So that is an issue now that is coming up in court. It's in court. All right? It's in court. She was charged for knocking out the windows, etc. But it's in court. So I just want to remind you that you have rights as tenants. Landlords, you also have rights. Okay? But we'll discuss that in another video. Anyway, each and every one of you, keep your spirits up, keep your tempers down. And remember, please do something good for somebody, anybody today. Don't do it with the understanding that you will get back something. But when you do it with a good heart, it comes back to you sevenfold. All right? I'm Mr. Clara. I'm out.